Time now for our regular Wednesday segment, All Things Real Estate. Today we're looking at the Real Estate Training Institute. And I'm joined this morning by the principal of the Real Estate Training Institute and the senior director at the Real Estate Board, Tina Beale. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning, George, and good morning to your listeners. How are you?
Excellent. I'm very good. How are you doing?
I'm good too.
Nice start to the new year for you?
Yeah, man, so far.
Professionally and otherwise?
Sure, definitely.
Everything level?
Everything level.
All right, great. Let's get cracking then. All right. So the first thing is the relationship between the Real Estate Board and the Real Estate Training Institute. Tell us about that.
Okay, so the Real Estate Training Institute, also known as RETI, is the training arm for the Real Estate Board. So essentially, we do pre-licensing courses for individuals who want to be registered as real estate sales agents, as well as individuals who want to be real estate dealers. And we also do CPDs, that's continuous professional development courses for our licensees as well, both sales agents and dealers.
I must admit that before hosting the series and talking to your colleagues who've come here,
Right.
I didn't know that the work of the Real Estate Board was so coordinated, so organized, so tiered, and so important, Tina.
Yeah, it is. As you know, real estate is a central pillar for economic development of any country. And we do a lot of work in the background to ensure that the private aspect of the real estate market is functioning, it's regulating, and that persons who are practicing in the real estate industry are actually adhering to international standards.
And on the point of international standards, where do you adopt your best practices from?
All right, so in Jamaica, we tend to use a dual approach. So we take from North America, specifically through the National Association of Realtors, and we also look to the UK, specifically through the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, as well as the International Valuation Standards Council. So it's essentially a hybrid because, as you know, in Jamaica, we're a Commonwealth country. Our legal structure is aligned to the common law and the English-based system.
Yes.
However, unlike the UK, in Jamaica, because of our geographic location, of course, we have adopted and mirrored some things from North America. So it's only in keeping that we have a merger, a hybrid, which keeps our Commonwealth base through the UK, as well as influx into that trends from North America, specifically US and Canada.
May I say that in this Jamaica, to say that you're a realtor, it says something about you. It says that you are a professional of a high standard. And I'm sure that as in your role, you are pleased with the perception that Jamaicans have of people who say they are realtors.
Of course. And I mean, the Real Estate Board works closely with the Realtors Association of Jamaica as well to ensure that realtors are actually practicing to the highest standards possible.
All right. So if I'm interested in selling real estate, what are the qualifications I need to hold? What do I need to do?
All right. So the first step is for you to become a licensed real estate sales agent. Our legislation refers to that as a salesman. So you'd have to do the pre-licensing salesman course through the Real Estate Training Institute. Upon successful completion of that course, then you would have to go through the necessary statutory requirements. So you'd have to do a fit and proper. You'd have to get a police report. You'd have to go to the trustee of bankruptcy to ensure that you would not have filed for insolvency at all. And then upon going through all of those screenings, then you would be given a real estate license.
Why is it necessary to satisfy the bankruptcy, the insolvency requirement?
Okay, so in the REDA, historically in Jamaica, we had a situation prior to the development of the Real Estate Board where it's essentially persons were being scammed in terms of purchasing real estate. And so as a result of that, the legislation puts a lot of credence on ensuring that persons who are entering into the industry basically are of good financial standing and are less likely to be individuals who are going to try to undermine individuals in a monetary sense.
The exam hard?
No, the exam isn't hard. We have a relatively good pass rate, and we tend to get good feedback from our students in terms of the course.
And on the point of the exam, talk to me about the course, the modules that are woven into it.
Okay, so first of all, what I must say is that in Jamaica, the structure of the course is guided by our legal system. So you can't really compare the courses in Jamaica or the structure of the course in Jamaica to what you'd see in the United States or in Canada. So with that said, we our students are exposed to planning and development, fundamentals of construction. They do, of course, real estate sales agency, code of ethics, as prescribed by our principal legislation, as well as international standards. They also do introduction to valuations, they do property measurement and inspection. So that's essentially what our students, and marketing, of course, in terms of the real estate salesman course.
Yeah. In my head, the real estate, well, the arm of the real estate market that deals with the corporate area, well organized, well defined, and of course, if you are in the corporate area buying real estate, you can just like that to access channels to help you if you have some difficulties with your realtor or with the sale process in overall.
Right.
Is it the same for the rural parts of Jamaica though, where your uncle have piece of land or your uncle have one house and I want to buy it and I go to you? Because is there a difference, rural, urban, or is it the same right across the island?
All right, so through the legislation, it's standardized across the entire country. But you know that in Jamaica, we do have informalities. And so in terms of persons going the informal route to purchase real estate, that is a big no-no.
Yes.
It's not recommended because, of course, it therefore means that the interest, quote-unquote interest, that you would have in land is not something that's recognized in law. So it therefore means that if you want to have something that is economically beneficial to you, you should go through the formal system. And the only way you can do that is under the legislation. So come to RETI, you get your training.
Having completed my salesman's course, so I have my qualifications in hand, what does that then allow me to do in terms of practicing as a real estate, as a realtor?
Well, okay, so let me correct you here.
Yes.
So upon completion of the salesman course, you are a realtor associate or a real estate sales agent.
Tina, and correct me now. Tell me, they know.
You are then employed to the realtor.
Yes.
/ real estate broker / as our legislation puts it, the real estate dealer. So as a sales agent, you're basically working on the dealer's behalf. And you basically have the license to sell, lease, and rent properties on the dealer's behalf. So your employment comes through the dealer.
Is there, I'm thinking of, this is Jamaica. I mean, it happens everywhere. Go on, like I said, Jamaicans alone, Jamaicans alone cut corners, eh? But in terms of what you found over time, is there a problem where people cutting corners to get the qualifications are concerned, or there are no corners to cut? You have to go the course and go the stratified way.
Well, there are no corners to cut in the first place. And if it is that you do have individuals that are acting or operating outside of the legislation, the REDA rightfully has in Section 9 what's known as a tribunal.
Yes.
And if it is, and it also in Section 3 of the legislation, it does point out that it is illegal to be conducting real estate business. It's actually criminal. It's a criminal activity. So once it is that we are aware of that, then the real estate board will enforce through initiating criminal proceedings.
So you say that after you have the salesman's course and you have those qualifications, you don't just go become a realtor. So you have to work.
So essentially what you'd have to do is you have to be practicing as a real estate agent for 2 years.
But here's the thing. So that's what I'm asking now. So why is it that the course is not so structured to outfit me with the skills to be able to function as a realtor rather than almost compel me to serve an apprenticeship before I can go?
Okay, so that is a very good question. So how the REDA treats with a sales agent and a dealer, it treats with them separately. A dealer essentially has to be an expert in leadership and management within the context of real estate.
Right.
So as a sales agent, you're basically learning the skills. You'd have learned the skills in the course. That 2-year period, you're applying the skills. Thereafter, to become a dealer, you're then overlaid with competency in leadership and managing. So whereas a sales agent, the focus is on sales, for the dealer, it is on sales coaching. Because what you then have to do is you have to know how to create an organizational culture around real estate business. You then have to know how to bring the team together in order to generate leads, and how it is that you're going to guide the team in order to effect structural change as well as performance wise for the real estate firm. So it's not just about having the technical skill set as a dealer. It's you more or less overlaying that technical skill set with the ability to lead and manage people.
So here's the thing then. If after all that, well, not even after all that, the programs that you run and the training that you offer, I'm very interested in the continuing professional development, because I would imagine that trends change, things change.
Right.
Legislation is not quite as
it doesn't change as frequently, right.
But things in the industry change. So
Right.
what are the requirements for doing these continuing professional development courses to keep a person current?
All right. So in terms of once it is that you're licensed with us, you
Yes.
are required to do at least 10 hours of CPDs each year.
And there's no corner to cut where that is
No, so
concerned.
there's
You have
no
to do 10
corner to
hours.
cut. You have to do it because we actually do keep a record of persons with the CPDs. And if it is that they have not done the required hours that they are to do, then their license cannot be renewed.
And it's a no blight
No
kind of
blight,
situation.
yeah, no blight situation.
In terms of I find that, Tina, that in these circumstances, training works best when those who are subject to the training can inform the training process. So let me ask, is it a situation where you set down these courses or a program of study, even where continuing professional development is concerned, by yourself, or do you ask those who are exposed to the training to give you some input as to how they can make the course manageable and meaningful for them?
All right. So when it is that we are developing new courses, we seek input from stakeholders at all levels. First of all, internally, we seek input from the Real Estate Training Institute Oversight Committee, which consists of practitioners not only in the industry, but also industries that are complementary to real estate. We also draw on the associations of our members. So, for example, the Realtors Association of Jamaica, the Association of Land Economy and Valuation Surveying, which has practitioners for the different areas of real estate business. And we utilize their input because knowing persons who are operating on the ground, and they would know what are the shortcomings, what are the things that they need to know, what are the things that we might think that they need to know, but they really don't need to know or needs to be as emphasized in our training courses. We take that input to then make the necessary revisions that are needed so that we put out content that is of relevance to our stakeholders.
And the reason I asked that question and the way I asked it is because I know that in organizations where professionals are concerned, sometimes they're asked to do instruments, even for their review of their job performance.
Right.
Then when you read it, you ask, but who designed this? Because this is not
for
me.
Right.
And I had no input in setting out how this thing was designed. So the instrument is effectively useless. I'm only completing it because I don't want to get sacked. You
Exactly,
understand?
right.
So that's why I asked that question.
Yes.
All right, well, the clock is against us. It's our enemy. We are fine. We're finished. And any last thing to say before you leave, Tina?
Well, if it is that you'd like to reach out to us or get additional information on our courses, please contact us at reti@rib.gov.jm, or you can give us a call at 350-6761 or 633-1292.
There you go. Thank you very much. Tina Beale, she's the principal of the Real Estate Training Institute, and senior director at the Real Estate Board. The Beale has an E after the L. It's not like Bradley, the Washington Wizards former superstar guard who went to the Suns and now playing basketball. But that's another story for another time. Thank you, Tina.
All right. Thank you, George.
All right, all the best to you.
All right,
Break
bye.
time back with us. Birthday's up next.